以上、デザインボックス創造者提供、本日の両チームメンバーの紹介でした。
Hello there and welcome to the IAI Nihondaira Stadium where Shimizu S-Pulse face Kashiwa Reysol on match week 22 of J1. The 2025 season past its halfway point now and teams are starting to be realistic about what can be achieved before December. In 12th place Shimizu's case, it's trying to find a way to be a little more consistent and rediscovering the formula and form that had them top 5 not a million moons ago. For Reysol, it's simply full steam ahead, continue to excite and entertain in equal measure, remain resilient and solid, an approach that has them second and breathing down the necks of Kashima Antlers. They bring the league's joint best away record to Shizuoka today. Of Reysol's 6 away wins, 4 have come in the space of the last 6 matches. Most recently 3-0 at Tokyo Verdy a fortnight ago. They are very easy on the eye when they're in full swing at Kashiwa Reysol. They seem to have really struck gold under Ricardo Rodriguez, the new coach who's come in this season. This today, though, will be a test, no question, in one of the picturesque settings we have in J1, in the shadow almost of Mount Fuji. The teams lining up here, the J2 champions from last year against the J2 champions from 2019. 7th in their first 2 years back in J1, Kashiwa Reysol. 17th the last 2 years. They were just a single spot above the relegation places, but it is all change this year in Chiba Prefecture, the home of Kashiwa Reysol, the prefecture that wraps itself around the eastern edge of Tokyo Bay. They've come along the coast here to Shizuoka. Shimizu S-Pulse, one of the famous mainstay original 10 names in J1. Some great players have passed through this area, some great coaches and familiar names as well down the years. Takehiro Akiba is the man in charge these days, and he has them well drilled, well organised and perfectly capable of cracking the top 10 again. Well, both coaches have made a couple of changes today. As we look first at the Shimizu S-Pulse team, and 2 switches from the team that drew 1 apiece at Nagoya Grampus last week. Jelani Sumiyoshi back at the heart of the defence to replace the injured Yuji Takahashi. And on the right wing-back spot today, 21-year-old Haruto Hidaka making his first ever start in professional football. Inui and Mitsuzaki will sit behind Koya Kitagawa, who has 8 goals in 18 starts this season. Still no spot in the starting team for Ohiba, who came off the bench to score a brilliant header in last week's draw, that 1-1 with Nagoya Grampus. Referee is Keigo Sendachi, his 2nd time this month on Kashiwa Reysol. 3.5 weeks ago, he was in charge when Reysol won at Tokyo Verdy in the J-League Cup. Today's video assistants are Koichiro Fukushima and Tokiyuchi Tanaka. As far as the Kashiwa Reysol team is concerned, Ricardo Rodriguez makes one change, not at the back, where 6-year veteran Hiromu Mutsamaru continues his run in the team, having been restored to this three-man back line. Soichiro Toshima for the suspended Yuto Yamada in the four-man midfield is the only switch. Yoshi Kazumi has 5 goals this season. So too main striker Yuki Kakita. 6 players have 3 goals or more in the league for Reysol this season. Kakita scored the only goal when Reysol beat Shimizu S-Pulse in the return fixture in May. Well, they've done terrific jobs with their respective challenges in J1 this season. Coaches Akiba and Rodriguez, particularly the Spaniard Rodriguez, who has Kashiwa Reysol as genuine title contenders. They have this famous milestone, this famous mark against their name. Kashiwa Reysol, of course, is the winners of back-to-back J2 and J1 titles a decade and a half ago. Could this be their year again? It's a fascinating story. It's a vindication of the club's decision to install Ricardo Rodriguez as coach. We are underway there in Shimizu S-Pulse in familiar tangerine here against Kashiwa Reysol. They have distinctive home colours as well, the yellow and black, but all changed today, all white, and looking potentially to draw level with the Antlers at the top of the table. It's just a 3-point gap, and the Antlers struggled over the last month or so. 2 defeats in their last 5 for the team that were 8 points clear just 6 weeks ago. But there's a big challenge to the Antlers' hegemony at the top of J1 this season. Akiba, first year coaching in J1 for him. Ricardo Rodriguez, Reysol, his 3rd club in Japan. He had 4 years with Vortis, headhunted by Urawa Reds, where he immediately won the Emperor's Cup in 2021, finished 6th there in his first year, then got them to the AFC Champions League final, only to resign with that final 6 months away. He took a break out of the game, toured the world, learned from some of the best coaches around the world, and here he is, bringing all that knowledge to bear. And Kashiwa Reysol, the lucky ones. Plenty of room here coming forward. Shimizu S-Pulse with Inui, who's having another stellar season. The man who's had a glittering career, Takashi Inui, turned 37 at the start of the month, along with Kai Matsuzaki there in the 2-man supporting attack roles. Behind Kuya Kitagawa, Kapishaba on the left-hand side, the Brazilian, and it's going to be fascinating on the right to observe the credentials of Haruto Hidaka. Now Tojiro Kubo comes forward on the Reysol right. That might be a little bit heavy for Yoshi Kazumi. There's foray forward there for Reysol. 3-4-2-1 formation of both of these teams. Kubo right-hand side, Koyamatsu left-hand side of the midfield. The wing-back roles with Watai, Kazumi further ahead, and Kakita. 5-goal Yuki Kakita is the main striker. Always delightful to be at this venue in Shizuoka, lovely part of the world. And as has been mentioned before, maybe once or twice on a clear day, you can see Mount Fuji from here. Kapishaba broke there for Inui. A bit of room in the middle of the park for Kai Matsuzaki. Snapping in there was Toshima. Able to feed it forward to Yuki Kakita. Kashiwa again. S-Pulse have got a man down. Looks like Bueno, the Brazilian holding midfielder, holding his right side there. Looked pretty innocuous, didn't it? Tried that give and go. Challenge from Tojiro Kubo. A bit of a delayed reaction there. Bueno has been ever present for Shimizu S-Pulse. The new signing under Akiba. He had played in Portugal, most recently with Guarani in his native Brazil. 21 starts and a goal against the Vispa on match week 11 for Bueno. An important holding role alongside Zinto Uno, a 21-year-old at the base of that Shimizu S-Pulse midfield. That was Hiraka. S-Pulse starting positively here. And Hatsukawa, right-sided defender, was forward. Bueno able to tidy up there. Well, back with Yuya Oki. Reysol, their away record outstrips their home record. Been absolutely terrific on their travels. Kashiwa Reysol, only 4 of 10 at home, but 6 away. Drawn 4, lost just the single match away from home in J1. And it has been their recent away form which has impressed the most. One at Tokyo Verdy, at the F Marinos and Nagoya Grampus, Arua Reds. The Vispa Fukuoka, they won away from home by a goal to nil on match week 1 of this season. Kashiwa there, winning the free kick. That's going to be the one-on-one, Kashiwa against Wataru Harada. Set-piece possibilities here for S-Pulse. There's the delivery. It's for Kashiwa, far side. Contact wasn't really good enough to play in a teammate. There's Masaki Watai. That combination he has with Yoshi Kazumi has been massively influential for Kashiwa Reysol this season. The first touch there by Koyamatsu. Kakita. Well played. Done well there. Kakita slipped in for Koyamatsu, who tries to turn it back. They have an overload here. And there's the shot and the deflection. And it's in by Tojiro Kubo. Well, Shimizu S-Pulse can't complain there. They did have the opportunity to get the ball away, but the early goal is Kashiwa Reysol's. It is Tojiro Kubo who was somehow lifted the ball above Yuya Oki with the help of a deflection, I fancy here. Not once, but twice did S-Pulse have an opportunity to launch the ball long and away from their danger zone. And it has, hasn't it? It's clipped Brunetti, the new signing, the Brazilian defender for Shimizu S-Pulse, and just lifted above Yuya Oki. Shimizu S-Pulse 0, the Kashiwa Reysol 1. It's a 4th goal of the season for Tojiro Kubo. one of the new players brought in the off-season from Nagoya Grampus. Versatile attacking side of this Reysol team. It's a fourth goal for Kubo. Koizumi with 5, Kakita with 5. A wonderful spread amongst the goal scorers. Mawasoya, not part of the starting team right now because of injury. He has 4 goals this season as well. Don't rely on one out-and-out striker, Reysol. And some nice stuff, the visitors here. But it was the pressure on the centre half from Yuki Kakita which enabled Reysol to win that ball back and recycle an attack, leading to that goal from Kubo. And they come again with the interplay. Free kick goes Shimizu's way. A yellow card as well for Ibitero Nakagawa. That trailing clip there on Matias Bueno. Started the last 2, fresh into the team, the 23-year-olds. So, evolving this Reysol team this season under their experienced coach. There's a nice quiet way about him, Ricardo Rodriguez. Perhaps a lesson not to judge too much on the honours won, of which there aren't too many on Ricardo Rodriguez's CV. The biggest of all if he can somehow topple the Antlers before the season is out with Reysol. Here's Watai. He did win J2, Ricardo Rodriguez with Tokushima Vortis in 2020. And that Emperor's Cup success as well with the Reds in 2021. Actually J-League Manager of the Year in 2021 as well. Koga. Nakagawa. Isamaru made the foray forwards. That's Koyamatsu. Taiyo Koga. Too far ahead of Tojiro Kubo there. Shimizu S-Pulse find themselves level on points with Fagiano Okayama. Start of this 22nd match week of action. Inui takes a knock. And a point behind Gamba. And 2 behind Avispa. They like Reysol have won only 4 of 10 at home. Drawn 4 of those. Lost 2. 3 wins in 11 on their travels. An exceptional start to the season, as it can often happen. The bouts, of course, of being the J2 champions. They followed it on. Won their first 2 on the return to J1. Tokyo Verdy on match week 1, then beat Alberix Niigata 2-0 here, then a couple of draws. Sanfrecce Hiroshima, Fagiano Okayama at the top of the table. Musical chairs at the top in Japan over the first 2 months of the season. That's an important challenge. Brunetti is the 25-year-old from Sao Paulo. Spent the last 5 seasons in Slovakia. Mid-season signing, of course, that's the flip. The European season's end. The players moved to Japan, joined in the middle of the J1 season, as is the case with the Brunetti. Reysol with the short corner. Toshima played the ball across, trying to work the combinations, and lift up and over the top there. Nakagawa. A bit awkward for him. Pass in from Koyamatsu. Yeah, after he'd done the keepy uppy, had to get the shot away quickly. Rewarded for his performances really in J-League Cup and Emperor's Cup runs. Nobuteru Nakagawa with 2 goals in the J-League Cup campaign thus far this season for Kashiwa Reysol, through to the next round in that. Out of the Emperor's Cup, Reysol. It's the other way around with Shimizu S-Pulse. Knocked out in round 2 of the J-League Cup. Through in the Emperors, away to Shonan Bellmare in July in the 3rd round. Reysol attacking again. Oh, had to be tucked behind by Brunetti. I mean, might have appreciated a shout from his goalkeeper there, Yoyoroki. It's the crisp passing and movement of Reysol causing Shimizu problems. Likewise, the short corners. Kubo. Koga. Not quite for Tomoya Koyamatsu, but has the trickery. Wide left for Reysol. Last time out against Kyoto Sanga last week, 6-goal thriller. 3-all. Koizumi, Kakita and Harada all on target in that one. The wonderfully entertaining offering from J1, we've seen throughout this 2025 season. There's Nakagawa. The Mitsubaru starting on the left of the back 3 with Harada on the right. Tayo Koga in the middle. 7 years with Kashiwa Reysol for Tayo Koga. One of the ever-presents this season. 21 matches started. Recovery there was important from Sumiyoshi. Brunetti did well, no foul. Nakagawa. Mitsumaru. Harada. Kubo. Taking on Brunetti. Kubo's done really well and arrowed in the cross to the far post, just a little too high for Koyamatsu. Nice combination play down this Reysol right side. Nakagawa. Again, it's a clever little pass into Koizumi. Too much traffic ahead of him. Kubo's the spare man here. Still there, Kubo. Off to Koizumi, draws the foul. Nicely done. Clever from Tojiro. Kubo has a level of patience about the way Reysol attack, which can frustrate defending teams. It's certainly the case there. Kashiwa Reysol free kick. Five goals for Koizumi this year. Awkward one. Where's it going to drop? Well, it bounced straight out to Hiromu Mitsumaru there, and from a Reysol perspective, it broke to the wrong person. Spilled by Yuya Oki, and not remotely convincing from Shimizu S-Pulse in a defensive sense. Yeah, nice idea by Koizumi. Just looking for a stray leg, a poked out attacking foot there, which might have posed more of a problem for Yuya Oki. In the end, it was barely needed. Been all Kashiwa Reysol here in the opening 20 minutes at the Nihondaira. It was Toshima. Here's Mitsumaru. Nakagawa. No way forward, so no problem. Turn and recycle it. Wataru Harada. Players breaking from deep again. Koizumi that time. Well defended by Brunetti. Might have been caught there by Yoshio Koizumi. It's all about the movement with Reysol. %72% possession tells you all you need to know about the way Reysol are dictating matters here. Yeah, the away team. Koizumi. Kubo. Again, the ball in perhaps could have been a little bit better there. Kapishaba work hard too immediately around Kapishaba when the ball broke loose to the Shimizu player. Again though, look how easily they win it back, the Kashiwa Reysol. Toshima. Koga. Mitsumaru. Toshima again. Kubo. Nakagawa. Koga. Koyamatsu again, no problem at all in beating his man, and a superb second goal for Kashiwa Reysol. Sachiro Toshima on the end of the cross. They are in full flow. Ricardo Rodriguez's Reysol team. Midway through this first half, a second goal. Makes it look so easy. Just the give and go to himself to get past the fullback there, Koyamatsu. Lovely ball in, and arriving late is the one change to the team today, Sachiro Toshima, who's back in and back on the score sheet. Absolutely delightful goal. Wonderful stuff, and this is a really impressive display thus far from Kashiwa Reysol. Well, he really enjoyed that. met it so sweetly, didn't he? So only the third appearance of the season all in for Toshima. It's his first league goal since Matchweek 29 last year. He's in a 3-2 home defeat to Tokyo Verdy. An entirely different experience last year for Reysol. But this is a club absolutely refreshed and rejuvenated under Ricardo Rodriguez. And another impressive, glittering away day display is being created, no doubt about that. Shimizu S-Pulse right now have no answer. Kojima has been spectator effectively thus far, the Reysol keeper. Yeah, challenges, missed time, just a little off. It's difficult for S-Pulse to spend any time on the ball whatsoever in this one, because Reysol are moving it around so quickly and with such finesse. One in their last three in the league. S-Pulse drawn the last two. Goalless here against Gamba Osaka a couple of weeks ago. 1-1 at Nagoya Grampus last time out. They pretty much burgled a point in that one. Should have been well in the rear-view mirror before Chiba got that late goal. They're in danger of conceding again here. Reysol once again build down the left-hand side with the ever-dangerous Koyamatsu, but whether it's Koyamatsu or Kubo here on the right, Reysol are all over their host today. There's the latest cross-in coming from Mitsumaru. The attacking player only just missed his touch there. Last win for Shimizu was here at the start of the month. They beat Vissel Kobe in a thriller. So we know what they are capable of on their day, but today has not been that day. This is better. Interplay there from Kitagawa, and Inui was well forward. The defensive requirements really of Hiromu, Mitsumaru and company. Yeah, stay on the ball. Progression step number one for Shimizu S-Pulse. Sumiyoshi. Matsuzaki. Kapishaba. Tsukaba, a little bit better. Licker can move forwards, better movement and a little bit more positivity about Shimizu S-Pulse here. Ball around the corner, couldn't play in Matthias Bueno. Here's Sumiyoshi. States national Jelani Sumiyoshi, second year here in the Shizuoka, was on loan from Hiroshima, but his deal was made permanent in the off-season. And okay, the free kick goes Kashiwa Reysol's way, but at least a little bit of progression in terms of their route back into the match for Shimizu S-Pulse there, and better pressure, yeah. Reysol with more to think about. Better interplay attack-wise here. There's Inui turning back inside. The referee not having any of that contact being questionable. Matthias Bueno ships it out wide for Iraka. Going to come through Sumiyoshi for Brunetti. Inui. Well, the idea was right until the last execution there. Mizuno sort of anticipating a forward run there from Haruto Iraka. So, yeah, just the last couple of minutes, possession stats have dipped a little bit more in Shimizu's favour, but still 67-33 there, and 5 shots to 1 in favour of the away team here. Here they come, flooding forward again. Koizumi! Denied at the last by Atsukawa. Movement again of Kikita, taking the centre half away from the run there of Yoshio Koizumi. But boy, that was important, that last-ditch challenge. Brilliantly done. Took 2 of them off there. Koizumi, AFC Champions League winner with the Urawa Reds. Actually, Koizumi. He played for Ricardo Rodriguez. Here's Mitsumaru. Half an hour gone here at the IAI Nihondaira Stadium. Shimizu S-Pulse 0, Kashiwa Reysol 2. A scintillating opening 25 minutes here from Reysol. But S-Pulse have just played their way back into it slightly. Shimizu had 23 straight seasons in J1. Founder members when football went professional in this part of the world, 93. They were runners-up in 1999 to Jubilo Iwata. Won the J.League Cup in 1996, won the Emperor's Cup in 2001, so there is heritage. Won the now defunct Asian Cup Winners' Cup in 2000, 4 other finals before being relegated in 2015. Back up after 1 season. And second in 2016 under Shinji Kobayashi. Another 6 years in J1 before being relegated again in 2022. And they had the top flight's top scorer that year in Thiago Santana. Didn't prevent demotion. And then 4th in J2 2023, and then last year's championship season in the 2nd tier. And they've certainly proved they can mix it, safely mid-table on their return this year. But right now, we're seeing the gulf in the mid-table J1 team and a side that are threatening the top honours. Bueno. That's nicely done. Matthias Bueno again. Brunetti. Kapishaba. Running at Harada. Defender was in the way. Bueno. Well played. Kagawa helping out his defenders there. Really well played. Shutting down Matthias Bueno. So they've got the finesse and the style, Reysol, but there is a fair amount of physicality in there as well. You need all the parts of the puzzle. Super delivery there from Kojima into Yuki Kakita there, and it's as easy as that to get an attacking free kick. Koizumi, Kubo. Again, plenty of options. Koizumi twisting and turning this way and that, and couldn't feed it through the legs there. But could feed it through the legs, but Kubo just unable to get onto it. Comfortable on the ball in attacking situations. A variety of the Reysol players, and force the corner as well. Former Antlers player Yuki Kakita is hunting down his former employers right now. Featured in every match this season, Yuki Kakita. 16 starts off the bench 5 times, with those 5 goals to his name. The last of those came against Kyoto Sanga in the 3-3 last week. Here's Watai. Kagawa. Harada. Koizumi. Koga. Koyamatsu. So, no way through on that occasion, but here's the recycle. Once again, we wait for the Reysol movement. Subaru. First touch almost worked out for Yuki Kakita. He passed to himself. Broken for Tomoya Koyamatsu here. Koyamatsu, deflection wide. Well, that could have landed anywhere. They're scared to death of Kubo on the right and Koyamatsu on the left-hand side here. Going up against Surai Atsukawa here, Tomoya Koyamatsu. The defender terrified to make a challenge. All a little bit shaky. They get lucky, S-Pulse, really. And just thrust it forward to no one in particular. Reysol back on the ball, back with attacking intentions. Watai for Koizumi. Masaki Watai, first touch there from Kubo. Falls more often than not into just those rushed defensive clearances. S-Pulse, the latest there from Brunetti. Okay, there'd been an offside. Inui, just the faintest of nudges on that. Great to see Takashi Inui still going strong, by the way. 37 now. The Shimizu S-Pulse skipper. Here's Brunetti. Good-looking run there from Iraka. It was checked by Nakagawa. It was fed there by Sade Atsukawa. Yeah. Obvious free kick. By the way, we're 6 minutes into the second half of the Antlers against Fujano Akayama. 1-1 there. A result that massively helps out the Kashiwa Reysol. A long way to go, both here at the Nihondaira and at the Kashima Soccer Stadium, of course. We're going to have plenty more twists and turns and thrills and spills before this J1 season is out. Wide open this year in the Japanese top flight. Here's the S-Pulse free kick, carries deep. The goalkeeper spilled that. Kapishaba! Look at the amount of players though stationed on the line to get in the way of anything that came through. And helping out their goalkeeper Ryosuke Kojima there, who spilled that. Kapishaba. His touch wasn't the smartest. Drills over the cross. Matsuzaki, again it's deep. And not quite pinpoint enough there for Sumiyoshi. An opportunity to build some pressure here though. But if he was caught by anyone there, Kojima, it was by one of his own players, but well, count them. 2, 3, 4 white shirts stationed on the line to do their defensive duty. Miscue from Kojima. Brunetti, his fellow Brazilian Capixaba, Harada. Again, they seem to find space from almost nowhere. Once again, coming forward and looking for a third goal, which is denied by the save from Yoya Oki. Izumi there, and then the follow-up shot drilled wide. That could so easily have been 3 for Kashiwa Reysol. How quick was this transition? It was sharp as a nail. The ball across by Kakita, Koizumi coming in, and then thrashed wide by Watai in the follow-up. That close to putting the result potentially beyond Shimizu S-Pulse today. Counter-attacking Kings, that demonstration again of the forward movement and the attacking intent every time there's a turnover for Kashiwa Reysol. All came from a Shimizu S-Pulse throw in a seemingly harmless position on the pitch. You can see why they have such a stellar run away from home, Reysol. Free kick that time. Kakita stopped in his tracks. Time for S-Pulse to try and build something here before we hear the half-time whistle. Uno, no way through. There's Koizumi, clearly pulled back there. still working the Oracle. Yoshio Koizumi had a terrific first half. Two behind Yuki Kakita. Yoshi Koizumi played both legs of that 2022 AFC Champions League final against Al Hilal for Urua Reds, who were coached then by Ricardo Rodriguez's successor, Maciej Skorca, who led them to the glory win, I suppose you would say. He got the medal. It was Ricardo Rodriguez who built that team that qualified them for the final. 7 months in between negotiating the group stages and the final in that particular AFC Champions League season. Because the AFC were in the first throes there of changing the calendar from calendar year to autumn spring. That, of course, is where we are right now with AFC Champions League Elite and AFC Champions League 2. .44.5 minutes gone. Shimizu S-Pulse with the corner. It's deep. It's too high for Kapishaba. Just about kept in play there. Over on the right-hand side, Kapishaba was able to meet it at the near post on that occasion when the ball was played in from the opposite side. But still, Kojima remaining untested as Toshiro Kubo opened the scoring in the 8th minute for Kashiwa Reysol, and then how about that for Sashiro Toshima in the 23rd minute. The two goals that have Kashiwa Reysol sitting pretty at the Nihondaira Stadium. We're going to have an extra minute at the end of the first half here. It's been a free-flowing contest. Many long stoppages to speak of. Kind of the way Reysol play, high-tempo stuff. Nakagawa playing that just too far ahead there of Tomoya Koyamatsu. Dealt with by Atsukawa. The thing about Reysol is they work so hard when they don't have the ball as well. Plays into this counter-attacking style and approach that they have. Quick zip up the line there to Harada, and there goes Kubo beating his man. The Kubo was bitten off more than he can chew there with Bueno, who does well. Bueno, rolls that against Kubo, and that's the last activity of the first half. Fittingly, the motif for the entire first 45 minutes. Reysol on the attack. 2 up. It could have been more. It really could have been more. But 2 at the break. That will have Ricardo Rodriguez and Kashiwa Reysol more than satisfied. Another away day win is in the process of being constructed here. Kubo and Toshima on target as they continue to breathe down the necks of the antlers at the top of J1. Shimizu S-Pulse 0, Reysol 2 at half-time.
これを見たら人間の影響による温暖化には疑う余地がない。これが科学の結論に今なってる。
ちゃんと知りたくなってきませんか？
めちゃめちゃ聞きたい。
すごいすごい。ここからもう倍々ぐらいで上がっていく可能性もあります。
中止になる試合数が5倍ぐらいに増えてます。
人がこのことに関して関心を持つってことはやっぱりそれは絶対大事だなって。
このままだったらサッカーできなくなっちゃう日も来るかもしれないですか？
Welcome back. Second half about to start here between Shimizu S-Pulse and Kashiwa Reysol. Only one team in it. Let's be perfectly honest. Reysol gunning for top spot in J1 have been excellent today. They weathered a sort of half storm in the opening 5 or 6 minutes or so, and from that point on have completely dictated the play. Nice tempo, plenty of attacking intent, and a constant threat with Koyamatsu on the left, Kubo on the right, Koizumi, Watai, Kakita, plenty of movement and interchanging in those three attacking positions. And Hajime Moriyasu, the watching Japan national team coach, has selected the right venue to enjoy his weekend's live football. I'm quite sure. What do S-Pulse have here in retaliation to Reysol? Second half starts here at the IAI Nihondaira. Shimizu S-Pulse 0, Kashiwa Reysol 2 is the score. In between relegations for these two teams, there were 3 seasons unbroken, 2020, 2021 and 2022, when their paths crossed in J1. And Reysol were unbeaten in this fixture over those 3 years. They won here in 2020 and 2021, 1-1 in 2022, the year S-Pulse were relegated. So recent history for the away day team of Reysol favours Ricardo Rodriguez's side, so we will have to see how the first 5 or 10 minutes of this second half pan out, because then you have to assume there will be changes made by Tadahiro Akiba. He has plenty of attacking players on the bench. He might not need them if they can get a goal back early doors here in this second half. That was an opportunity for Koya Kitagawa. Surrounded by 3 white shirts, just a slightly prohibitive angle there as he twisted and turned and fired the shot wide, but that's better. Into the central striker, giving him a sight of goal at least. Yeah, the coach displays his enthusiasm. Kitagawa, 18 starts, 8 goals, but not since the Vissel Kobe game, end of May. He's well past 200 appearances all told in 2 spells with Shimizu, is Koya Kitagawa. He followed the well-trodden path of making his name in J1, disappearing to Europe for a few years. Here he is again, trying to get on the end of the cross from Kapishaba, and this is a much, much better showing going forward already from Shimizu S-Pulse in this second half. What are we, 2.5 minutes in since the match restarted, and causing more problems for the Reysol backline than they did in the entirety of the first 45. That's what we want, says Tadahiro Akiba. Kapishaba, so much more positivity. Essentially the equivalent to Koyamatsu on the left wing for Shimizu S-Pulse. Take on the fullback, provide a bit of pace, run at them. Back to basics really, attack-wise for Shimizu. And already better. There's the layoff from Takashi Inui. Then Brunetti. Kapishaba. Takashi Inui again. And the cross behind Kitagawa that time. And the follow-up almost spilled by Ryosuke Kojima, but he's smothered that at the last possible moment. So, 3 bona fide attacks in 3 minutes at the start of the second half. We have a match on, and Kojima in all sorts of trouble. Nakagawa clears it. Now it's Ricardo Rodriguez who has to make adjustments, and the Reysol team with an on-pitch assessment of exactly what is happening and evolving out there. So there was the cross in behind Kitagawa. Just rolled off the defender. And Uno it was who had the shot. And at the other end there's room for Watai. He will wait for support from Kubo. And the give and go. Comes back through Toshima. Sachiro Toshima. Headed away by Sodo Atsukawa. Kapishaba gets it clear. Picked up by Tayo Koga. Reysol. Yeah, well, they want to spend a period of time on the ball so they can get back to dictating the tempo. That is what they're all about. That's how they seized control of this match in the first half. And perhaps a little fortunate to remain unscathed, with S-Pulse coming out of the traps, firing on all cylinders at the start of the second period. Watai. Toshima. Izumi. The ball through. A little bit too heavy for the onrushing Kubo. That's an indication of the interchangeability of these forward players for Reysol. Kubo at the centre forward position there as Kakita drops short. There's more room now for S-Pulse to build something. Need a better ball than that though from Kitagawa to Kapishaba. Have nearly enough weight on it. Bueno, Kapishaba. There's Brunetti. Corner. Different team in this second half, Shimizu. Inui. Going to take this corner. Movement there in the penalty area. Squirms loose for Kara Matsuzaki. Matsuzaki taking on Koizumi there. Kapishaba was there. Then the layoff from Uno. He just couldn't get enough clearance for the shot there, Shimizu. It's all congested. Sento Uno. Sorai Atsukawa. Sento Uno again. The player has won the last two J2 titles. He was part of the S-Pulse team last season with Machida Zelvia the year before that. Kapishaba, a 2 on him, stifled the shot, and he's come off worse as well there, Kapishaba. And stayed grounded. Just had a little look to see what was happening, whether Shimizu were able to going to be able to get back on the attack again. Nice little turn, positivity, forward run. Shut down by the challenge from Wataru Arada, who caught him there. A 2-on-1 situation. Kapishaba back on his feet. Already a significant part of the way they've changed the narrative here in the second half. Shimizu. No goal to get back into it just yet, but performance so far in the opening 8.5 minutes of the second half suggests that that is not beyond the realms of possibility. Long diagonal. Reysol deal with it. Just thrust forward there to Kakita. With Sumiyoshi. Nicely dealt with. Brunetti. Second start for S-Pulse since that move from Donatius Gestreda. Third appearance, and he's used as a substitute. His first taste of J1 action, 18 minutes to the end against Gamba. Kapishaba. Reysol scrapped in to win it. Nakagawa. Harada. Butero Nakagawa again. Goes himself. Nakagawa! Wow, that would have been really something. Took the ball walking pace deep. Assessed the options then. Wow. Minimal resistance in front of me. I'm just going to go for it. And he was almost rewarded. Full throttle strike as well. Fingernails on it from Yuya Oki. Yeah, the player who scored 2 J-League Cup goals this season, played his way into the first team, rewarded by Ricardo Rodriguez. It's a reminder of what he can do. Masaki Watai. Kubo with Harada. Layoff from Kakita. Kubo on the overlap. Yeah, applying themselves a little bit better in the defensive positions right now. The Shimizu S-Pulse has a yellow card for essentially the attacking foul there. Attacking position from Wataru Arada. Season a signing from Sagan Tosu. He's been an integral part of the back line as well. Arada even contributing 2 goals to the Reysol charge this season. Reysol, who had their golden period really between 2010, 2015. One of the form teams throughout all of Japanese football, with back-to-back J2 and J1 wins when they made history. Emperor's Cup champions 2012, J-League Cup champions 2013. Had an incredible spell under Nelsinho Batista, the Brazilian coach. Even got to the semi-finals of the AFC, the Champions League as well, in 2013, where they were only down by Marcelo Lippi's Guangzhou Evergrande. Chinese club football had a spot in the sun for a brief period of time. Kojima not looking the most secure there. Just seeing these little decisions, the free kicks going S-Pulse's way now. By the way, a top 2 finish in J1 gets qualification to the AFC Champions League, the league stage. Antlers and Reysol in those spots right now. Cup winners go into AFC Champions League 2. S-Pulse free kick. Matsuzaki to swing it in, quite have the elevation or the direction for that matter. Safely repelled there by Reysol. That's a better follow-up ball in. Sumiyoshi has stayed forward here. The cross is a little too high for him. Cross it comes from the blindside player. Still nothing doing. Reysol goal remains unbreached. But Shimizu having a real go. As Matsuzaki got round the back just to turn it across. Kojima was nowhere there, but it's just not breaking for Shimizu S-Pulse attack-wise. Here comes Shimizu again. Matthias Bueno. Here's Sorai Atsukawa. Hidaka. Now into the 15 minutes into the second half, an hour into the contest. Still no changes from Tadahiro Akiba. Mitsumaru's header. Nudge up and over the top there. Matsuzaki. Stopped by Toshima. That was a really good challenge by Sachiro Toshima. Atsukawa again. The player had his birthday yesterday, turned 27 yesterday. Sorai Atsukawa wearing 4, the right-hand side of the Shimizu S-Pulse back 3. Kapishaba. Everyone at their defensive stations here for Kashiwa Reysol. Lift up and over the top for Kapishaba. He's got a lot to do there. 2-on-1. That extra covering player that Reysol seem to get in position every time they don't have the ball is an indication of just how well drilled they are under Ricardo Rodriguez. S-Pulse corner. Goalkeeper was beaten to it by his own defender there. Where's it going to drop? Must be. No! How did that stay out? It came off Kojima, scrambled off the line. Extraordinary defensive play from Kashiwa Reysol, and Shimizu S-Pulse wondering what they have to do right now. It was Sumiyoshi, the centre half, who's an auxiliary attacker where they have those set pieces and corners. Oh, had to be well timed that, and it was an offside as well. And Toshima with that challenge there on Bueno. Well, the goalkeeper was absolutely nowhere at this point. Kapishaba laid it across to Sumiyoshi, and incredible goal line challenge. That's all you can do. Wear that rueful expression, look to the heavens and go again. So past that goalkeeper, who makes that one-handed save to begin with, and then Kubo just denies Takashi Inui. Yeah, they're obviously going to appeal for everything they can possibly appeal for there. Handball, foul, anything. And of course, Vaz remaining silent for the time being, as treatment has to be administered to Hiromu Mitsumaru there. Just slowing Shimizu S-Pulse down more than anything. I think this stoppage. Oof. The whole of the ball over the line. Question mark? Well, that's one, isn't it, for our friends Kuchiro Fukushima and Yoshiyuki Tanaka. As we have a delay here to approach the midway point in the second half after this. Kashiwa with a swing, steers it wide. Possible handball within all that. Yes, Keigo Sendachi, our referee, in communication with his video assistants. And right now, I think, well, any goal, any penalty, any scoring penalty resulting from a decision, and Shimizu S-Pulse are going to go full throttle at the end of this. Oh, does it drop? He kind of waves his arm away from it. Doesn't he there, Tojiro Kubo? In real time, you see there, he knows that that ball is bouncing towards his arm and successfully manages to drag it away. Masaki Watai is being replaced by Yusuke Segawa here. And the first switch is the Kashiwa Reysol persuasion. Segawa, the 31-year-old, minimal impact on the season really, as Diego comes in as well, the third time off the bench for Segawa, second spell with Reysol. And Diego Jara, he's been a little bit more present this season, mainly as a sub off the bench for the 16th time in his third year. A player the coach Rodriguez knows from his days at Tokushima Vortis. That's one of the attacking weapons removed from the Reysol artillery, and Koyamatsu has had nothing like the impact on the second half that he did in the first 45. Matsuzaki. Sumaru unable to continue as well, so Jara is that straight switch there. There goes Kashiwa. Kubo there with Koizumi. As per usual, they try and play their way out of trouble, unsuccessfully that time. Kashiwa in behind and then plays it in turn in behind Koya Kitagawa. They're so close to unlocking the door here, aren't they, Shimizu? Kashiwa, the key protagonists in this second half. Way by Koga that time. Here come the Shimizu S-Pulse changes. So Iraku Nakahara off bench for the 11th time, replacing Matsuzaki. So the right-sided midfielder, it's a straight switch. And Iraka, a massive surprise to see his first start in professional football cut short. And Shinya Yajima, another midfielder, comes in off the bench for the 12th time. Emperor's Cup scorer this season for Shimizu S-Pulse. This is where the threat unfurls itself for Reysol. He's decided to hold it up there, the Koizumi. Harada with the pass, Kashiwa with the challenge, getting Shimizu S-Pulse motoring. Kitagawa has come very, very short to pick that up. Nakahara ahead of him, back to Kitagawa. No, the combination just off. But it's Segawa getting the ball forward for Reysol, the substitute. Kakita. Done by Nakagawa. Toshima. Sachiro Toshima again, played it against the defender. Diego Jara. There's the ball, lovely first touch. Second though has thrashed the ball wide from Segawa. Well, it was an excellent bit of close control. And that was the substitute with a golden chance here to surely wrap up the points. A third goal would surely mean 3 points here. Lovely bit of skill. And then the effort drilled wide just off there. Barely played this season. No goals. As Mao Hasuya will be rotated in. Straight switch up front. Yuki Kakita has done his bit. Mao Hasuya has goals behind him this season. Was a first choice, but lost his place, really, this season. Off the bench for the 13th time. He's made only 8 starts, but still a scorer of the 5 goals, last of which came in stoppages in the 3-0 win at Tokyo Verdy a couple of weeks ago. Also a target for Japan in the last international break. Mao Hasuya. Punted behind with his head by Taiyo Koga. They're taking no chances there. Kojima might have had that covered again. The Shimizu S-Pulse threatening down the left-hand side with Kapishaba. Just gets himself that extra bit of wriggle room to drill over the cross. 20 minutes to go. There's the flick at the near post, and it's going to tickle through to a very relieved Ryosuke Kojima. Penalty. Referee has spotted a handball in the middle of it all. And Reysol are going to, within the limits they're allowed, appeal this. Taiyo Koga is leading the complaints. Here was the corner from Najima, the substitute. There is a high hand there, isn't there? There is a high hand. So, are we going to go to VAR? To green light the original decision. Well, if they can get one back here, it's going to be absolutely huge for Shimizu S-Pulse. Ricardo Rodriguez having absolutely none of it. Now we're going to see Koya Kitagawa placing the ball on the penalty spot after all. He's poised to do so. 8 goals this season for Kitagawa. 5 of those have been penalties. There's going to be a booking for Ricardo Rodriguez for the nature of those protests. I mean, is he trying to argue there that his player was being fouled and that produced the unnatural arm action? Whatever, it is a penalty. It is Koya Kitagawa. That's where it normally goes. Goalkeeper's bottom left. This to set up a frantic last 20 minutes or so for Kitagawa. 5 successful penalties this season. 8 goals in total. Kitagawa against Ryosuke Kojima. Oh, he went to the goalkeeper's bottom left again. Kojima had done his homework and pulled off the save. Well, they have improved dramatically in an attacking sense in this second half, but the finishing has just not been there. Even from the penalty spot, that is just not a good penalty from Koya Kitagawa. Let's be blunt about it. It's not even tucked into the corner. He ends up saving with his kneecaps, more or less, there, Ryosuke Kojima. Still, Reysol's 2-goal lead is intact. Kapishaba feeds in Brunetti. And there's Kojima again in the thick of it with the save. Well, by now, Shimizu should have had one on the board, for sure. Reysol have ridden their luck at times, but S-Pulse have been profligate, never more so with that Kitagawa penalty. And I can tell you that the Antlers have been beaten at home by Fagiano Okayama. So we're watching Kashiwa Reysol in the process of going joint top here with the Antlers of J1. Tidying up for Reysol to do defensively. And more changes. So, enter Ohiba, a player who came off the bench to rescue S-Pulse last week against Nagoya Grampus. It was a delightful little header as well. Just 2 minutes from time to rescue the point. And Shonkataki as well, 19-year-old midfielder, nothing to lose in a sense here for S-Pulse. Makes only his second appearance, only the second showing full stop for S-Pulse. Second off the bench, he had 4 minutes against Shonan Bellmare on Matchweek 7. There's only a third time off the bench for Shibara as well. All hands to the pump. It's cute from Diego. Almost impudent in the circumstances. But they are going long a little bit more and being a bit cheaper with the ball in this second half now. Inside the last 15 minutes. Asukawa. Brunetti. Potentially ominous this for Shimizu. Got an overload here at Kashiwa Reysol. Perhaps not as direct as they would have been in the first half, but ball comes in near post and is completely missed there by Mao Hasoya. Well, any kind of genuine contact and that would have been curtains for Shimizu, surely. Well, he took his eye off the ball or what, we'll never know, but he was completely unattended inside the 6-yard box there, Mao Hasoya. Magnificent chance there for Reysol. Kuzumi gave that straight to Kapishaba, who himself gives himself a little bit too much to do. Slides in. There's been a Reysol player who's gone sprawling there. Toshima. Booking for Kapishaba. They really needed to make hay when they was firing on all cylinders down the left-hand side. Still may do that, but I wonder how many chances they're going to forge here, Shimizu. Cogged as well, plays it against the defender. Antlers would still remain top, even though they'd be level on points with Reysol. Another counter-attacking chance, just goes astray. Both score more goals and have a better goal difference, the Antlers. Never a better chance to get one back than Kitagawa's penalty. Poor. It's the legs of Ryosuke Kojima. It was so casual. Puts the Antlers and Reysol right now 3 points ahead of Kyoto Saga, then Vissel Kobe a point further back, but just past the midway point in this 2025 J1 season. It is still so tight at the top. Right now, just 5 points between first and fifth, a spot occupied by Sanfrecce Hiroshima right now. They're trailing themselves by 2-0. Anyone can beat anyone in J1 this year. Here comes Diego Jara. A bit of a second wind in his second half. Diego Jara rolls the ball just wide. It would have been the perfect finish to a delightful surging run. He just kept on going. Give and go, a little tuck back there from Ayato Tanaka. The left-sided substitute combination, almost delivering the third goal that Reysol would love to seal the deal. Just bending, wasn't it, the wrong way outside of the post from Diego Jara. Returning to their roots, really, of quick, clever, high-tempo passing. Has had another goal out of it. He has scored from the bench this season, Diego Jara. Najima. Now Hasoya brought down. Regarded as one of the leading lights, one of the up-and-coming players. Still just 23, Mao Hasoya. And got a goal as Japan beat Indonesia 6-0 in the recent international break. The second for the Japan national team. And coming to the boil nicely in terms of Japan's participation at the World Cup, which has long been signed, sealed and delivered. North America next year. Rinsei Ohata now comes in. All the fringe players being used. It's only his second appearance, second off the bench for the 21-year-old midfielder for Brunetti. Just a single minute against the Marinos in April did Ohata. Slightly longer here to make some kind of impact. But when your go-tos let you down, as Kitagawa did with that penalty, the mood is let's try anything. A bit casual there. Nakagawa is faded a bit in this second half. There's Kotake. We're on the right side here. The substitute for Shimizu. Away by Tanaka. Just wonder if they can see this out. Kashiwa could be a pivotal result in terms of the season. It's all about riding your luck at times, and there's no doubt that Reysol have done that, having worked hard to get themselves in the position they were in. 2 goals up with a scintillating first half performance. Kapishava bundled off the ball. All building of the reputation of Ricardo Rodriguez, who, well, many have said for some while will be coaching in Europe at some point. Not necessarily all about his coaching credentials. He's had a variety of roles, Ricardo Rodriguez, at a number of different high-profile clubs as Jara thrashes the ball across. A promotion with Girona in his native Spain. Had success as sporting director of Malaga, the third smallest budget in La Liga. They finished 8th, coached in Thailand precisely because he said he wanted to coach in the English language. Had players from Brazil, Croatia and Namibia, but left his job at the Reds to take in a number of sort of observatory roles at English clubs in 2023. A student of the game. As the academy director for Real Madrid in Mexico. Saudi Arabia national team as Frank Rijkaard's assistant. Spent a while shadowing Pep Guardiola at Man City in the early months of 2023 after he jettisoned his job with Urawa Reds. It's no small decision, is it, to give up the spot coaching in an AFC Champions League final, which Ricardo Rodriguez willingly did. Four minutes of the 90 to go. Reysol free kick. Sumiyoshi has taken over the captain's armband, by the way. Animated to the last, Ricardo Rodriguez. This team face the Antlers before the end of July. That's going to be a colossal fixture. It's all getting scrappy at the end here. Yeah, there's a booking for Matías Bueno. Some tired legs out there, the ones that haven't been replaced. These 5 substitutes allowed, of course. Half a different team again by the time these fixtures are finished. If coaches use their full complement, which inevitably they do, and why shouldn't they? And yeah, that's a suspension, the 4th yellow card of the season for Matías Bueno. Players over here. Well, Nakahara was the target. It's the Machida Zelvio match that he will sit out now. Matías Bueno, that will mean he'll miss his first match of the season. Bouncing a little bit awkwardly here, but crucially for Reysol, breaking kindly for them. You have to be sanguine about these things. They have ridden their luck on plenty of occasions in this second half. Will it play out against them later in the season? You wouldn't bet against it. Goalkeeper's out of his comfort zone here. Has to return to it because that loose ball drops for Koizumi. Still in play, Kapishaba getting the ball to Atsukawa. No use where it is. For S-Pulse anyway. Back it comes there for Segawa. And 3 players in the penalty area here. It falls again for Diego Jara to wind one up. Well, he put his laces through it. It's a big swing on that from Diego Jara. But a little bit wild ultimately. Really went for it. It was going to be a Rose header, but it didn't land on target, which it very much didn't. But it seems that the opportunities they have had to put this match beyond Shimizu S-Pulse today are not. They're going to be rude for Kashiwa Reysol as Katake tries to make headway down the right-hand side for Shimizu. Nothing doing, despite the physicality of Katake. FC Tokyo next up at home the next week for Reysol, who are now joint J1 leaders with the Antlers. And the Antlers, no doubt about it, having their blip right now, beaten at home by Fagiano Okayama today. 3 defeats in the last 6, is that, I think, for the Antlers? They need to steady themselves. We're looking at home and hosed at one point. Not a bit of it. Six minutes of stoppages at the end here. Still time for S-Pulse to make things spicy. Can't there. It was Inui. Broke for Nakagawa. Tanaka. Jara. Reysol all set for a 3rd win away to Shimizu S-Pulse in the last 4 visits here. Seventh away win as well. Takes them above Vissel Kobe and Kyoto Sanga, Machida Zelvia. The teams with that same number of 6 away day victories in J1 this season. The run-in is going to be absolutely fascinating in Japan in 2025. There's Diego Jara. Great feat. Gave himself a little bit of room to work with, and they play through again and are looking for this 3rd goal. Here, Kashiwa Reysol. The player moves forward to the man in possession in Mao Hosoya. Izumi decided he didn't want to use him. Matias Bueno. Wahata. Way through again, perhaps there is here with Katake, but given a lot to do, and Diego Jara just extended that long leg and poked the ball out. Corner here for Shimizu. Halfway through stoppage time at the end of this J1 encounter. Ricardo Nakahara to take the set piece. Good one as well, right into the pack, follow-up shot. Again, it could have dropped to anyone, couldn't it? The way Shimizu S-Pulse, the way it's broken against them today. The shot went straight at a Reysol defender. So Nobuteru Nakagawa is going to be replaced by Seiya Baba here, just to see out the last few moments. Seobawa, the former Consadole Sapporo player. Yeah, comes in just to see it out. The player's determined to stay in J1. And was able to do that. His move down from the island of Hokkaido, after Sapporo were relegated under Misha Petrovic at the end of last season. 3 appearances off the bench now for Baba. Been fabulously entertaining, really has, as we move into the last minute today at the Nihondaira Stadium. 14 shots for Shimizu S-Pulse, 16 for Kashiwa Reysol. Only 4 apiece on target, but never mind. Reflective of the way these two have approached this. Reysol completely dominant in the first half. We've got those 2 goals reasonably early on. Kubo in the 8th minute, Toshima in the 23rd, and then since half-time, all Shimizu. Efforts wide and high, shot cleared off the line. Work for Kojima to do, missed penalty. Much consolation in the end for Shimizu that they've contributed to a wonderful J1 spectacle today. But represents just more of a dip in form for Reysol. No 2 ways about it, they are flying high. They've moved level with the Antlers today. We're past the extra 6 minutes. Shimizu S-Pulse presented with an opportunity to try and forge some kind of consolation, because that's all it will be. Here's the attempt. Oh, so close! So close from the substitute. Ikaro Nakahara kind of sums up the day. We can add denied by the woodwork to a missed penalty and had a shot cleared off the line. Shimizu S-Pulse did everything in this second half, including that with the last kick from Ikaro Nakahara. They did everything but score against Reysol today. It was their first half performance in which they were second best in all departments that undermined their challenge. And Reysol have a 7th away win of the season to go level with Kashima Antlers on points at the top of J1. It was all about the first 45 minutes for Ricardo Rodriguez's team. 2 up inside 23 minutes. Wonderful stuff, great to watch. And they saw it out in the end. Tojiro, Kubo and Sachiro Toshima with the goals that did the damage. Reysol survived in the second half. They won't care about that. It's all about the win. It's all about now going joint top in J1 for Kashiwa Reysol. Great spectacle that really was. Both teams went at it. Reysol in the first half, S-Pulse in the second. And there's enough to suggest in that resurgence from Akiba's team in the second period that they will be okay. But an end product will be nice. Kitagawa, we know he knows where the goal is, 8 this season, but I'm sure he won't be so lackadaisical with the next penalty that Shimizu S-Pulse are presented with. And let's not forget as well, the more Pulse push forward, Reysol had a multitude of opportunities to wrap up the points. Mao Soya with a chance, Diego Jara with a couple of chances, Kazumi went close as well. All in. A perfect away day display. They rode their luck, they had the quality when they needed it, took their chances when they needed to. And Reysol are right there with the Antlers. And those two play in a couple of weeks' time. Can't wait for that one. Third win in 4 visits to the Nihondaira for Kashiwa Reysol as we wait for some post-match reaction.
見事リーグ戦初ゴール、そして今日はアウェーの地で勝ち点3を手にしました。お疲れ様でした。まずはこの試合振り返ってください。
非常に後半が苦しかったっていうそういう試合になりました。
本当にサポーターの声も大きかったですけども、攻守ともに最後まで集中した試合でしたね。
最後ちょっと自分は止まっちゃったんですけど、なんとか、小島の PK ストップがあったり、全員で守りきれてよかったかなと思っています。
豊島選手はリーグ戦久しぶりの先発でチャンスをものにしました。今日はどんな思いでまずピッチに立ったんですか？
まず個人的には、リーグ戦カップ戦